James told us he's worried. James, let me bring you up to speed. James doesn't remember me at all. Come on.
Well, James, I want to talk triggers with you.
Daddy was a drunk.
What's going on, you guys? All right, so it is Monday, September 10th, 2018. On the stock market today, like I said, Tesla is now going up. It's about $15. What it was on Friday, it's about at $276.50. $276.50 and going up. Tilray is going up, but it will come down. It's about at $90. All right, Home Depot jumped about $5 today. It's at $210.50 a share. BLK, which is BlackRock, and always with storms, I find they make money after storms, which is very weird. And on the way to big storms hitting, very weird. Look into their programs. All right, on the other side, on the negative side, Amazon has been falling. It's now below the $2,000 mark. It's at $1,940. It's lost about $12 today. Baba, which is Alibaba, which has steadily been going down, lost about $6 today. And Apple lost about $4 today. It's around $217 a share, $217 a share. And Alibaba is $156 a share. And let's go on with this. Elites already know when collapse of society is coming and are preparing now. So elites already know when collapse of society is coming and are prepping now. Talk of doomsday scenarios is common among the elite Silicon Valley dinner parties. So obviously we're going to get into that. Now, something that you can do that okay, let me just get into what I think. I believe the collapse will be a combination of the dollar collapsing and of disease. Possibly the dollar will collapse if you don't have your money well diversified in a lot of different areas. This could affect you. It will affect you because it will be global. It will be global. Now, look over to Europe. When the euro starts to become highly volatile, we have about 2 weeks. So when the euro becomes highly volatile and starts to drop and ruckus all over Europe, we have about 2 weeks. Talk of doomsday scenarios is common among elite Silicon Valley dinner parties. Bankers and tech executives are scrambling to prepare for the coming collapse of society, an event they already know when will occur, while the rest of us are lulled into a false sense of security. Talk of doomsday scenarios is common among elite Silicon Valley dinner parties, with plans to escape to New Zealand to be very popular. Plan B. So escape to New Zealand. And then it has writing over the damn thing, so I can't see. To be very popular. Plan B. In fact, JP Morgan Chase's head quant recently publicly declared that the next financial crisis is going to result in social unrest not seen in the United States in half a century. All right. So they are saying that the social unrest is going to be because of the dollar collapsing. Financial crisis is going to be very, very. Now, let me tell you something. If you have in the bank, say $6,000 and the dollar goes down, guess what gold does? It goes up, and what it's worth won't be lost. In fact, it will go up. So let's just take this scenario. This is a very basic, rudimentary way of looking at it. But if you had that $5,000 to $6,000 in gold, you won't lose money, because when you go to the gold man and you say, now I want to sell my gold so I can pay my rent, you will get the money back that is worth your rent. Meaning that it won't have gone down. In fact, it will have gone up. Now, because of the looming, recession / dollar collapse, a lot of people won't be able to pay their rent or their mortgage or their car because, I'm sorry, some people are locked in. But when, so for instance, this is something that I want to know. You have to pay $300 for your car every month, okay? Now, you still have to pay $300 for your car every month, even though the $300 is now it's lost value, the $300. But on your contract, it still says you have to pay $300. But what will go up and that you haven't locked in is food prices, oil prices, things like this. They will skyrocket, just like in Venezuela. I'm hoping that this isn't the case. I'm hoping that this will not come to fruition. but you have to be prepared. You have to be well diversified and hedge your bets, because this next coming financial crisis will come very fast and it will sweep you off your feet, meaning you won't be prepared for it even though you think you'll be prepared for it. Okay? That's just my 2 cents. Let's keep going. So JP Morgan saying the social unrest will be very bad because of this financial crisis. According to NBC, sudden, severe stock sell-offs sparked by lightning-fast machines, unprecedented actions by central banks to shore up asset prices, social unrest not seen in the United States in half a century. That's how JP Morgan's Chase head quant Marco Kolanovnik envisions the next financial crisis. The forces that have transformed markets in the last decade, namely the rise of computerized trading and passive investing, are settling up conditions for potentially violent moves once the current bull market ends, according to a report from Kolanovnik sent by the bank's clients on Tuesday. His note is part of a 168-page mega report written for the 10th anniversary of the 2008 financial crisis, with perspectives from 48 of the bank's analysts and economists. Now, something I need to say is they want this. So I believe that we are fighting a fight right now, trying to stop this. They are wanting this. However, I think it will be somewhere in the middle. They want complete social unrest, disaster. All right. Then there are the people that say this bull market will go on forever. That's impossible. It just can't. It's going to be somewhere in between. It's going to depend on your location. It's going to depend on your financial status. It's going to depend on where you're located, your region. There's a lot of variables. So being prepared can't hurt you. Can't hurt you. Having more than 2 plans can't hurt you. Having a plan A, having a plan B, having a plan C, and then having a plan D in case all those go to hell can't hurt you. All right, according to the Economic Collapse blog back in 1968, the Vietnam War was in full swing. A presidential election was approaching, and 2 of the most prominent leaders in America had just been assassinated. Chaos erupted in the streets as a result, and Volkovich is absolutely convinced that we will see similar eruption soon. He closes his report on an ominous note. The next crisis is also likely to result in social tension similar to those witnessed 50 years ago in 1968. Now this is trending. Trump Tower evidence mounting of collusion with Russia to frame Trump. So, is this the play? Are they trying to get Trump out of office, crash the dollar, bring in the bioweapons? Question mark. Yes. The answer to that question, yes. That year saw the peak of both the Vietnam War and anti-war movements and the assassinations of Martin Luther King Jr. and Senator Robert Kennedy. Today, the internet and social media are helping to polarize groups, and events including the U.S. election and Brexit shows tensions that will probably worsen in the next crisis, he said. When society begins to come apart at the seams, many among the elite do not plan to stick around for the day of reckoning. Oh, believe me, they'll get their day of reckoning. You can't escape this, okay? You can't escape this. You can't go to your underground bases. Your day of reckoning will come, even if it is after mine. Yours will come, believe me. A Bloomberg article that was published entitled "The Super Rich of Silicon Valley Have a Doomsday Escape Plan" has some amazing revelations. According to the article, over the past 2 years, 7 Silicon Valley entrepreneurs have purchased survival bunkers from a company in Texas and shipped them to locations in New Zealand. In recent months, two 150-ton survival bunkers journeyed by land and sea from Texas warehouse to the shores of New Zealand, where they're buried 11 feet underground. They can't hide underground, ladies and gentlemen. 7 Silicon Valley entrepreneurs have purchased bunkers from Rising S Co., and planted them in New Zealand in the past 2 years, said Gary Lynch, the manufacturer's general manager. At the first sign of an apocalypse, nuclear war, a killer germ, a French Revolution-style uprising targeting the 1%, the Californians plan to hop on a private jet and hunker down, he said. It would be weird enough if one wealthy individual did this, but the count is now up to 7. So why have they chosen New Zealand? Well, it's because New Zealand doesn't have any enemies. English is spoken there. It is very stable, and it is very far away from everything else. And it's close to Antarctica. Plus, the country allows wealthy individuals to essentially buy residency. So wealthy individuals can buy their residency in New Zealand and become New Zealand residents. All right. Of course, can't read this. There's writing over it, but whatever. The nation allows immigrants to essentially buy residency through investor visas, and rich Americans have poured a fortune into the country, often by acquiring palatial estates. Billionaire hedge fund honcho Julian Robertson owns a lodge overlooking Lake Wakaputu in Queenstown, the South Island luxury resort destination. So is this what they think of Americans? Just having a cup of coffee with their tiny trinkets in their car, living out of their car? Fidelity National Financial and Corporation Chairman Bill Foley has a homestead in the Warrarapa region, north of Wellington, and Titanic director James Cameron bought a mansion nearby Lake Panawi. There has been a significant exodus of wealthy Americans to New Zealand in recent years, and once things start getting really bad there, will be a steady stream of private jets taking off from locations in the United States and landing in that beautiful nation. Of course, not everyone plans to leave. Luxury survival bunkers are also being constructed all over the heartland of America, but they aren't cheap. For example, it was being reported that a penthouse inside the survival condo in Kansas was selling for more than, $4 million? They put the words right over the ones that you want to know about. Like how much? Right over the amount. So selling for more than, it looks like $4 million. Another shelter for the ultra-wealthy is the Survival Condo in Kansas. It was designed to withstand a nuclear blast or nature's worst, but is a far cry from what you might expect an underground shelter to look like. There's a cinema, a swimming pool with a water slide, a spa, a lounge, a gym, and an indoor shooting range to keep occupants entertained. But survival comes at a price. Last year, it was reported that a plush 3,600 square foot penthouses with a shelter and a former missile silo were selling at $4.5 million. So a former missile silo, I reported about this, it was turned into these penthouses, basically survival penthouses, and they are going at $4.5 million. And like I said, the only way you're going to survive is in a community. If the shit hits the fan, like they're saying it's going to hit the fan. You're not going to survive by yourself because there's going to be marauders. And these marauders are going to be in big gangs. So you're going to need to be in a big gang yourself. You're going to need to be in an area where everybody's working together, a community, to basically survive. So everyone's going to put in their 2 cents, what they have to offer. Basically, you're going to have military combined with, medical, combined with engineers, combined with there was actually a show that I used to watch that did a simulation run of this, and they had scientists and people, doctors, all this, and some would be able to take on the marauders because they fully had this. I forget what it was called, but it was a really good show. And some of them would get to the point where they could start making showers, running water. They would use all kinds of like wood, gas, burning wood and the gas and fumes, and did all this kind of stuff for their water and all this stuff. And then some, they wouldn't get that far and they would only survive. Some would thrive, some would survive, some would tap out, which would be dying in this case if it was real. There's no tapping out in real life. So it really comes down to learning a trade, learning it well, being well prepared. Most of Americans aren't going to be able to run to New Zealand, and I don't think most want to run to New Zealand, to be honest with you. So you got to be prepared here. It goes on to say, needless to say, anyone outside the top 1% is not going to make it onto the survival condo. And in order to keep the rest of us out, it has an armory that is stocked with guns and ammo. Additionally, an armory stocked with guns and ammo is in place in case of an attack by non-members and is also available for owners to practice. The bunker is able to sustain its owners for up to 5 years by raising tilapia. So they're raising tilapia in fish tanks and growing hydroponic vegetables under lamps. So they're going to be eating fish and vegetables for 5 years, eh? The elite can see what so many of the rest of us can also see. Our future looks very troubling, and it appears to be wise to get prepared for what is coming in advance. Unfortunately, the rest of us don't have the money to buy luxury survival bunkers or fly to New Zealand on private jets. Money may not be able to buy happiness, but it can buy a pretty good escape plan. All right, so that's what they're throwing at us today. Just be prepared. Don't have the spirit of fear. I'm out of here.
And for the international order that we have worked for generations to build. Ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. That order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign.
Holy hell.